So there's a lot that goes into building construction. From the very moment the client has it in his mind that he wants to build a house to the point where the project is executed, a lot of things goes into those construction. When the client wants to build a house, the first thing he does is to call an architect and explain the concept of what he wants to be built. Not talking about what our parents actually did when we were growing up, that they will say they want to replicate the same kind of building they have in the village. Okay, now the architect comes into the picture to understand what the client wants, and the client explains to him whether he needs a bungalow, duplex, or the story building. After understanding the concept of what the client has in mind, the architect would have to produce some rough drawing. So when he produces this rough drawing, he brings in a quantity surveyor to give an approximate estimate of how much this project would cost to be executed. And when all this is communicated to the client would give a go-ahead for the working drawings to be produced. That is, he is now aware that he's competent enough to handle the financial aspect of the project. After this, the architect goes back to produce a working drawing. He produces a complete drawing that gives a good visual representation of what the client has in mind. Bear in mind that once the architect produces his working drawing, he is expected to give his drawings to a structural engineer who will design the load, beams, and columns of the building so that the building would have a very good structural makeup. And the quantity surveyor would in turn produce a bill of quantity, which is an estimate of the total amount of money that should complete that building. The next thing that the client is required to do is to carry out tender, and I'm going to explain what tender means in my next video.